So I started using Photoshop like a year ago, and as soon as I jumped into it, the first thing that intrigued me the most was changing the skies of an image. The first thing I did to learn about how to change skies in Photoshop was obviously go on YouTube. But the thing I found out about YouTube was that on YouTube the techniques they showed you weren't really great because they were very simple, and I'm pretty good at changing the skies in Photoshop, and I know a lot of techniques about it, so I just want to put them out on YouTube so you guys can benefit from it. Welcome to my new video, guys, and today I'm going to teach you how to change skies in Photoshop, so let's do it. So I've got all the images loaded up here that we're going to need for this tutorial. So we've got the sky, the foreground, and this is the end. This is how it's going to look like by the end of the video. It might look a bit different because if I found a better way to do it, I'll just make it look different. But yeah, so we've got the image here, and first thing we need to do is obviously change the sky. So in order to change the sky, what you have to do is go to channels, unselect all these, click on the blue one, duplicate channel, click on that one, click on the blue, copy, and then go to image, adjustments, curves. Curves, you have to go to the middle of the curve and bring it all the way down to the point where the church just turns black, like here. Yeah, press OK. Alright, so what you have to do is press Ctrl and click on blue copy, and then take a brush, make sure it's hard brush, hard round one, and start brushing white, because there is still a few black spots behind the building and we don't want them to come into the image. So start brushing them. Okay, this is it's awesome. Alright, so now that's done. My computer is taking ages to load it. Let me just purge everything. Yeah, alright. Alright, so yeah. So now we have done that. What we have to do now is go to you have this layer, unlock it, and then select a layer mask. Okay, and then you have to press Ctrl+I. No, that's not gonna work. So now we have this, right? What you have to do is press Ctrl+I and go to layers and select a layer mask. This will select just the building, and so what this will do, this will just select the building and it will unselect the sky behind it. So now we can put our own sky behind it. So what we do now, so we have this, what we need, so we have this now. What we need to do now is go to the image where we have the sky. You have to, by the way, I will put these images down in the description so you can follow along with this video. So alright, so what we need to do now is you have to get the image of the sky. So yeah, I've took this one a few months ago, so I'll just use that for this video. You have to take that image and put it here. What you need to do now, what you have to make sure is put the layer behind the main layer. So this new sky layer, you have to put it below the main layer. So okay, this looks a bit messed up, but you'll fix it. What you need to do now is click on this move tool and click on here and adjust it, because right now you can see those dark clouds. I don't want those dark clouds to come into the image, because I think it's just not gonna look realistic for this image, so I'll try to remove them from this image. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. What I need to do now is press Ctrl+T and use Shift, press Shift as well when moving it, and just like, you know, adjust a little bit. You can mess around with it, do what you like, but right now I don't want these purple clouds here. I don't want them to come into the image, so I'll just adjust a little bit. Yeah, I think this. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Yeah, so I'll just go with this. Alright, so we have got this now. What now we need to do now is match the foreground with the sky. Always remember, you have to match the foreground with the sky, not the sky with the foreground. So if you don't mess that up. Alright, so now you have to go to adjustments, click on the brightness layer, and click on the clipping mask here as well, because we just want this layer to be affected by the changes we're just gonna make. So I'll just adjust it. I'll just reduce the brightness a little bit, and yeah, add just a bit of contrast, not too much. Alright, once that's done, you have to go to hue and saturation, and we have to adjust the color here because it just does not go with the background right now. It's not going with it, so you have to, like, what you can do is you can click on this hand, click here, and it will select the color arrow here, and what you can do is you can make it look a more sunset type. So we can add a bit of yellow to it, but make sure don't go all the way here because it will just mess it up. So yellow is on the left side, so just bring it to the left just a little, not too much. Yeah, this is good. With saturation, just add a bit of it, and with lightness, yeah, I'll just keep it the way it is. I'll not mess that up. Alright, so once that's done, you have to add the clipping mask to it as well. And yeah, it's turning out to be alright. Alright, now what you can do now is we have to fix this, because we have to decrease the brightness here, because right now it's just a bit too bright. So yeah, I think this looks pretty good, so I'll just keep going with that. And once you have added the hue and saturation mask, so I'll just go with that. Now what you can do is you can mess with color balance. So right now we have got these highlights, and I want to make them look a bit more yellowish. So I'll add a bit of yellow here, and also add magenta to it, because that will like make it look amazing. Yeah, magenta and a bit of red. With the shadows, I'll just add a bit of blue to them. Wait, let me just put this layer up here. And yeah. What the fuck, that messed up, didn't it? Alright, so now what you have to do now is select color balance and and add a bit of yellows to it, a magenta as well, and click on the layer mask as well, the clipping mask. Yeah, this looks alright. I'll just remove the red a bit because it's just, yeah, this looks good. After that, what you can do now is you can add a no, not right now though. I'm not gonna do it now. Now what you can do is now what we can do is that we can add a bit of, 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 we can add a bit of now what we can do is we can add a bit of glow to our image. So I'll select a new layer. I'll actually select new layer and then sample a color from here. Get a normal brush, soft light brush, bring it to overlay, and then I'll stop. Okay, this is weird. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add a layer mask to the image. So what I'll do, I'll just select a new layer. I'll select a soft round brush with with opacity to 22% and glow 22%, 23% as well. So I'll just start brushing it here a little bit, not too much. Here as well, a bit here, and along with that I'll just select a brownish color and brush here a little bit, and yeah, so that'll do. I think this has made a big difference, because the thing with this image is the church is this clock is facing directly the sun, so there should be a bit of like brightness here. Alright, so once that is done, what you have to do is you have to like burn and dodge these highlights, because they just right now they just look weird. So I'll just click on this foreground layer and I'll select highlights and exposure to 97% is alright. I'll just start brushing here a little bit. Yeah, and I'll start brushing here a little bit, and maybe I'll bring the exposure down a little bit because this is a bit too strong. So yeah, I'll just keep on brushing here, make sure the highlights have been burned a little bit, so yeah, this looks good. Now what you can do is you can add a gradient mask to it. So what you have to do is you have to go to this layer, click gradient mask. I normally use this one because I really like using it, so you guys can use that one as well if you want to. But you're free to mess around with other ones, just use whatever you want to use. So you click on that, you press OK, then you come back to the gradient map and decrease the fill. Okay, I'll just keep it to 15% because if I go up it just looks a bit unrealistic. So I'll just keep it to 25%. Alright, cool, this looks good. So now you've like blended most of the image. What we can do now is merge all these layers, press Ctrl+E. What we can do now is we can like select all these layers, click on Shift on the first layer, and then click apply. Okay, man. So what we can do now is we can merge all these layers together. So what you have to do is you have to press Shift, click here, then press Shift. Keep on pressing the Shift. Don't leave it. And press Shift here. So what we have to do now is merge layers. So you press Shift, click here, keep on pressing the Shift. Don't remove your hand from it or your fingers, and click here as well. So this will select all the layers. Press Ctrl+J because we want to duplicate them in case you have to come back to it, and then press OK. So what we can do now is we can merge all these layers. So what you have to do is you have to press Shift, click on this one, keep on pressing the Shift button, and click here. And first thing you have to do now is we have to like duplicate these layers, because in case we have to come back and use them, we don't want to like Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to duplicate these layers in case we have to come back and change them. So it's always good to duplicate them instead of just merging all of them together at the first minute. So I'll duplicate them and then plus Control plus. So you duplicate them by pressing Control plus J, and then you merge all of them together by pressing Control plus E. So once you have merged all of them together, this is the layer that. So once you have merged all of them together, what we can do is we can add a bit of curves to it. Alright, let me fix this. Yeah, with this one, I think what you can do is like bring the blacks up a little bit, just a little bit up, not too much, and bring the midtones down from this point, the one on the screen, and yeah, increase the highlights just a little bit. So yeah, I think that has just made a massive difference to the image. If you look at before and after, there's this big difference. Alright, so once all of this is done, what you can do is you can go to. So once all of this done, what you can do is you can go to camera raw filter to like just make like some more adjustment. So once all of this done, so once all of that is done, what you can do is you can go to camera raw filter to add some final touches to it. Okay. So once all of that is done, what you can do is now you can go to camera raw filter to add some final touches to the image. So go to, first you have to select this layer, and then go to camera raw filter, and yeah, it will just take some time to load up. Alright, so first, before going to the camera raw filter, you have to like crop the image out. So press C and then click on this image and click on delete crop pixels, press the tick button, and then go to camera raw filter. So once you're at the camera raw filter, what you can do is you can take the graduated filter, click the click button and bring it up to this point. Yeah, this is good. And reset the local correction settings, and what I'll do, I'll bring the exposure down just a little bit, not too much. I don't want it to look strong. And you don't have to do anything with the shadows. What you have to do now is duplicate it, come here, rotate this mask and bring it to the other side. Once you've done that, now you just have to apply a radial filter to it. So once you have selected the radial filter, what you have to do is now is obviously reset the local correction settings and go to the outside first and bring the exposure down quite a lot, and after that select the inside. With inside what you have to do is bring the exposure up just a little, not too much, and increase the clarity and dehaze it a little bit, and maybe add a bit of saturation to it, and press OK. So this is the final result of the edit, and I think it looks very different from where we started. Anyway guys, this is the end of my video. So if you guys have liked this video, please click the like button and also share this video and subscribe to my channel.